Hello everyone, Andy Schwab here with your Northern Ag TV. Cattle futures did their best to gain ground that was lost out of Monday. However, when the cash cattle standoff settled on Friday, it was the live deals dipping a little bit lower, and that triggered a small sell-off on the futures board. But that was all before the weekend, as mentioned, and luckily the countryside demand stood boldly in that headwind as they continue to see the strong demand from cattle buyers in the auction barns and on the video market. When we come back from the break, we'll look over everything and see how everything's settled with the wheat markets, seeing their double-digit rally on Friday, and we'll see if that was enough to pull them back out of the red that they were in throughout much of the week. All that and more right after this.
From the beginning, we've worked closely with farmers. BNSF's ties to the agricultural community go back 175 years. Together, we've innovated to make the U.S. agriculture supply chain one of the most efficient and productive in the world. Our strong relationship powers BNSF still today and helps us move the nation like no one else can. At BNSF, we move the nation for you.
Upon seeing Friday's lower cash cattle prices, cattle traders took a step back from the board. Some of the concerns, that is, are coming from international demand for the American beef after the weekly export report showed some significantly lower numbers. They were just 8,800 head, or 8,800 metric tons, that is. Now, this could be one of the reasons that we watched the box beef values drop sharply as of recently, with choice cattle values down nearly $30 a hundredweight in just 2 weeks. However, as mentioned before the break, countryside demand is remaining strong despite the headwinds, with another video market proving buyers are looking for the cattle to have on hand during these low inventory times. For Western video market, there was a strong premium noted for the weaned calves, albeit not as significant enough of a test from our region to write home about. One thing that you could put in that Dear John letter, though, is the prices of the yearling steers continuing their higher collections. For once again, the prices on the steers, well, those steers, I should say, that need several hundred pounds to their frame, well, they found their prices over $3,000 a head. Of course, we'll also see those prices reaffirmed this week's 21st annual Summertime Classic from Northern Livestock Video Auction, where 167,000 head of cattle will be offered in that 3-day test. Now, the sale will also offer over 31,000 head of sheep at the conclusion of the first day. Looking at other sheep markets, Sioux Falls found some excellent demand on the finished lambs this week, with their average nearly better than everything, weighing less than them. Flip the Monday script, and we saw Pays hold their once-a-month sale with a good test of the feeder lambs, keeping pace with the national average, and Cole Ewes gaining some traction after their price dip this spring. For the grain futures, well, they are able to rebound from a shaky Thursday session to roll into the weekend with some strong gains, led by the wheat markets, actually finally catching a break among those lower contract prices. Meanwhile, soybeans strung together 3 solid days to close the week, adding over 30 cents to the value of the new crop November contract to the finish of the week. Now, commodity markets did fade away from their daily highs on that Friday session, with profit taking beginning in the energy markets before seeping into the ag markets by the late morning. Overall, though, wheat futures and the KC winter wheat were up a nickel in a week-over-week comparison, while Chicago wheat was only a penny higher, and Minneapolis spring wheat, well, they were at the same level as the week prior. Well, that's going to do it for our Northern Ag TV. I'm Andy Schwab. Have a great rest of your day.